Hey, what's going on, family? You guys already know what day it is. It is the day after Sunday. And guess what? We are in a new year. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. I pray that all of you guys came in with the right mindset, with the right attitude, trusting and believing in the Lord, just like you did in 2021, and that you are expecting some great things of the Lord, even in the midst of the trials that are to come. Because how many know life has trials in it? And like the scripture says, we are to learn from those trials. Those trials are there to make us stronger. They're there to teach us about ourselves and also show us about God and how he keeps his promises and how he keeps us in the midst of trials. I pray that you guys are doing great. But listen, I don't want to talk much. This New Year meal has been prepared. I'm hungry. You're hungry. So without further ado, guys, let's dig in. Listen, last week we talked about being careful how we talk to people. And one of the reasons why I said that it is super important that we do so is, first of all, that's just something that we should do always. We should always mind our mouth and how we address people and our words that we speak to people. But I was saying last week, with all of the things that we see going on, all of the chaos, people have short fuses. There's a lot of killing going on, a lot of fighting, just craziness. I was like, we have to really be careful, especially those of us that are saved, and especially those of you that are not saved. Be very careful how you address and talk to people, because listen, some terrible things can come out of these situations when we find ourselves going back and forth. And it's not so much about the going back and forth, because you can go back and forth with somebody and not say nasty things or say wicked things or say things that's going to hurt them or make them feel some type of way. There's a way that people can have a disagreement and walk away and nobody be offended on the level of being disrespected. There might be a little either party might be a little upset because they didn't like, what the disagreement was about, because maybe they felt that they were right and the other person felt they were right, and both walk away and without anything really being resolved. But when you're talking to somebody and you're talking crazy and you're calling them out of their name and things of that nature, a lot of times those situations don't end well, whether it ends in violence or it ends with the person leaving and not, really letting go of the words that you said to them, not really being, willing to forgive you. Like, there's just so many negative things that can come out of that. And one of the scriptures we used last week, because I just want to kind of touch on that a little bit again. One of the scriptures we talked about last week was Proverbs 15:1. And the scripture says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So, the scripture is just letting us know, like, listen, when you're in a dispute or you have somebody that's hostile and they're acting crazy, you don't have to talk the same way that they're talking. There's a way that you can talk to them and diffuse that situation. But if you start acting crazy like them, you start talking crazy like them, their anger is only going to get worse and worse. And I appreciate you guys, because there were a lot of comments on last Monday's video. Some of you had some testimonies. Some of you talked about, man, this is a hard thing to do. I know one comment I saw, you know, somebody said, how do you avoid a close family member that's not saved, that won't leave you alone? And what I would say to that is, you can't make somebody else do something that they don't want to do. And if they're crowding your personal space, you may have to leave out of that personal space, or leave out of that space, excuse me, I should say, or ask them, like, listen, just let me have my space, let me be at peace. But the one thing you don't want to do is, you don't want to feed into that energy. You don't want to feed into what it is that they're doing, because a lot of times what they're doing is trying to get you to feed into whatever it is that they want to get into. And a lot of times, once again, if you ignore them, you don't pay them no mind, you don't give them the time of day, don't go back and forth, and they see that it's not bothering you, a lot of times, they'll just take their mess somewhere else, because it takes two to tangle. It takes two to argue, right? And somebody else said, how they try to watch what they say. And something they said, and I wanted to kind of answer the comment, but I didn't get a chance. So that's why I'm addressing it now. They said, then here comes evil pushing them buttons to make me say things I shouldn't. The world we live in makes me curse, and they went on to say that they want to be a better Christian, and they felt like they were a weak man because of how they allow these things to pull them out of character. And listen, we've all been there. I've been there where, I've allowed people to say some things that I shouldn't have addressed, I shouldn't have paid any mind to, and it got me mad to the point of where I flew off the handle, where I might have started cussing. This is saved and not saved. This is something that I struggled with, and I had to say to myself, listen, I can't allow people to pull me out of character like that. I need to get this thing under control. So it's a learning thing. It's not something that happens overnight. It's something that you got to pray about. You got to talk to the Lord about. You got to fast about. And I can't even guarantee you that for the rest of your life, even once you start to get that under control, that there might not be a day that you say something that you wish you hadn't said, because it's not always about cursing and throwing something and things of that nature. It could just be something you said to somebody that really hurt their feelings. Like I said, everybody doesn't get over things the same way as other people do. Some people, it could be something to you that's very small, but they take it to heart. And that's why when we think of Proverbs 18 and 21, it says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. That's very powerful. It says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. So we have to be very careful what we say. And it says, they that love it, they that love, whether they're speaking that death or their life, shall eat the fruit thereof. Like that's going to be your plate. That's going to be what you're going to receive. So that's why it is very important that you watch what you say out of your mouth, because those I remember I seen in a movie or heard on a song somewhere, I think it was years ago, they said, those words aren't refundable. Once you put that out in the atmosphere, those seeds are going to be planted somewhere. And if you are not careful, this is the plate that you're going to find yourself eating of. This is going to be the fruit that you're going to receive. So you have to be very careful. But what I would say to that last comment that I talked about, no one can make you do anything. And I'm saying this in love. Nobody can make you do anything. It's just a learning process. It's just talking to the Lord. Listen, all you have to do is go to the Lord, which I'm sure you have, ask for forgiveness. The Lord knew you was going to do it. He knew you was going to mess up. He knew you was going to say those things. But the Lord wants us to get to a place, especially those of us that are saved, that we don't allow these things to pull us out of character, that we don't allow what somebody else is saying to cause us to, say something that will allow people to then try to question our testimony or question our faith. And listen here, and be clear, and I want to be clear at what I'm saying. I'm not saying that if you got into it with somebody and said something crazy, that doesn't make you save. And that's why I love what this person said, about wanting to be a better Christian. And that's all of us. We all want to grow. We all want to get better. We all got areas that we can get better in. So it's not the end of the world. But what you have to do is, first of all, take responsibility. Say, listen, I need to be better at this. I can't control them, but I can't say that they're making me, because really what I'm allowing to come out of my mouth is what I'm feeling on the inside. So I can't blame them. I got to take responsibility and say, you know what, for me to be a better Christian, for me to get stronger in this area, this is what I have to do. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to get to the point where I don't allow them to take me out of character. But I just wanted to encourage you guys, like, listen, this is a work in progress. You know, this is something that I work on myself. Like I said, it doesn't have to be being aggressive and cussing and things of that nature. Like, I just had a conversation with some of my brothers and told them to pray with me and hold me accountable on this, because I'm the type of person, I don't like people, playing me and feeling like they're getting away with it. So sometimes I'll address things when somebody think that they're getting over on me or whatever have you. Like, I would have a problem like not addressing it. And I know that sometimes you do have to address it. I remember in Jesus and John chapter 6 when they were looking for him and they couldn't find him. They had took the boat and came over. And then when they finally found him, they was like, Rabbi, where have you been? And, Jesus addressed them right away. He was like, listen, y'all not looking for me because, y'all ate and saw the miracles. And he went on to break down what he broke down to them. He's basically said, you guys are looking for me because you ate and you were full. You're looking for me for the wrong reasons, but he addressed it right away. So I'm not against addressing things and saying what needs to be said in the right moment, but you don't have to say something all the time. And that's why we have to take heed to that. Every situation doesn't require a response. So I just wanted them to pray with me on that. And those of you as well, I've been doing a lot better with it. But sometimes, man, when people do stuff, just silly stuff, and they think they're either getting away with it or they're trying to be smart about it or be funny about it. I mean, it could be something like, walking into a store and somebody see you coming and they just let the door go and the door almost like hits you in the face, like things like that would really bother me, because for me it's like it's not that serious. I don't understand things like that. Like, why would you even do that when you look right at me? And so even though for somebody else they might have been like, oh, that, but like for me I would have to say something like, like, excuse me, like, so. And once again, in the day and the times that we're living in, not saying that the Lord is going to allow anything to happen to us, but still, we want to make sure that we are glorifying God and that we're not lighting any matches or starting any fires or whatever have you. So that's just me being transparent. Those were things that bother me. But like I said, lately I haven't, been allowing certain things to bother me. And it's not like a all the time thing. It's not like every time somebody do something, I say something, but I just noticed that certain situations, I just wasn't able to let it go. And I don't get crazy with people, but I'll let them know. But sometimes God will be like, that, that you didn't have to say that. You didn't even really have to address that. So, this message is as much as for me as it is for you guys. So I just wanted to just share that and be transparent with you guys and let you guys know that, listen, we're all working on various things, but the main thing we have to watch is our mouths, because whatever comes out of our mouths, how many know we can't take those things back? But we always want the right thing to be coming out of our mouth, the thing that is going to glorify God. So I'm going to be praying for you guys. Continue to pray for me. And like I said, with the way the world is going, our words are very serious. And that's why all I try to do on the internet is share the gospel, talk about the Lord, because all of this other talk, you see people posting all these other things, things that, cause strife and cause division. And it's like, it's not even worth it. Like, if we really understood how powerful our words is and how powerful the word is, we will be trying to share his word as much as possible. So know that I love you guys and happy new year once again. And until the next time we share a beautiful spiritual meal together, shalom.